Whoa, hold the phone. You mean to tell me that somebody could be trying to kill me? Like, kill me, kill me. Oh, not just you. For all you know, they could want to exterminate your entire bloodline. There's really no telling. It could be the wolf who sired your bloodline, or another. But there's a reasonable chance that you and your entire family is in a great deal of danger. And you never even realized it. Okay, if you're trying to scare me, it's working. It's working very effectively. Her mother said, laughing. You really mustn't worry so much, Victor. After all, you're a high-tier wolf, and now you've emerged, hatching and becoming full-fledged. You don't yet fully have control over your abilities. You can't transform at will. However, your newfound strength will make you far from an easy target. If someone does come after you, they're most likely going to be in for a fight. And you have martial arts training on top of that. You might think that that's insignificant when you can change into a giant furry murder machine. But combat training is combat training. When two wolves confront each other, the one that is the most capable in combat will win. Your high tier, along with heavy combat training, makes you very dangerous, Victor. Someone capable of winning the regional martial arts competition, and with no werewolf abilities to boot. Having that level of skill, along with the natural abilities of a werewolf, will make you a dangerous adversary, and a prime candidate for many things. Once this information comes to light, and it will come to light, Victor, my husband is already making the proper calls, contacting the channels. Soon, everyone will know about you. And then, very interesting things are going to happen. Who knows what? But be prepared. You'll most likely be receiving a visit from the Inquisitors. The Inquisitors? What are those? I asked, still feeling somewhat afraid. Oh, don't worry. I know the name sounds intimidating, but really they're just bookkeepers. Werewolf librarians. A silly thing, isn't it? Basically, it's their job to keep the books, to keep track of all of the bloodlines and wolves and territories, who's a part of what pack and why, where their bloodline comes from. All of these things are valuable information that our race needs in order to stay in hiding and still be able to function effectively. But they'll just ask you some questions and run a few tests. They'll need to decipher exactly what tier you are, as well as which one of the houses that you originate from. This will be their first task, and the most simple. After which, they'll begin the more difficult task of tracking your bloodline back to find out what wolf sired you, or your bloodline more specifically. But with both your tier and your martial arts ability, you're going to become an interesting prospect in the world of wolves. A newcomer like no other. And there will be countless others chomping at the bit to get what they want from you. Chomping at the bit for what? I replied. I mean, I don't have anything. What could they possibly want from me? Well, they could want any number of things, Victor. They could want you to join their pack. A high-tier wolf is a valuable commodity in a pack. Every wolf that one accepts into their pack increases the strength of that pack. And the higher the tier of that wolf, the greater the boost in strength and respectability. The more power and influence that pack is able to force, the more territory that they can claim. With a high-tier wolf like you on their side, even a low-level pack could begin to make aggressive moves, expand their territory drastically, pushing out other smaller packs or absorbing them into their own. Even your bloodline itself is incredibly valuable. The bloodline of a high-tier wolf could do wonders for a family. For example, if you're a tier 4, if you're a tier 3, or a tier 2 even, then a tier 5 wolf, the weakest among our kind, could stand to gain infinitely from claiming you as their mate. Their children would no longer be locked in the happenstance of having to crawl the ladder, so to speak. They would be born with an innate ability to control their transformation like they wouldn't have had before. Normally, that type of thing can take generations. You could spend so much as 6 lifetimes trying to build your way up to having control of your wolven form, moving from a tier 5 to a tier 4 takes a very long time, and each preceding tier up takes just as long. But if they marry a high-tier wolf, bear their children, then their children will inherit that wolf's strength, at least some of it, allowing them to move up in tiers, being born outside of the tier 5, able to control their transformations at will. This increases the strength of an individual family. There are countless different struggles within the world of werewolves, Victor. There's the prominence of one's own individual family and one's own individual bloodline. And then there is one's pack. The pack that you swear allegiance to has its own power struggles. You struggle for power and dominance within the pack, trying to assert your own authority and gain status and rank within it, or even control the pack yourself, becoming a pack leader. And then even beyond those struggles, there are the struggles with other packs, the fighting for dominance and control of territory, power, and influence. All of these things are things that you're going to have to get very comfortable with, Victor. A tier no less than 3 wolf? No, there's no way in the world that no one's going to be interested in that. A tier 5 wolf can be ignored, dismissed, pushed aside and not worried about. But anything above a tier 4 generates an amazing amount of conflict. Who will claim you into their bloodline? Who will claim you into their pack? What status within the pack will you have? These are things that werewolves all over the world fight, kill, and die for every day. And you are just so new. Look at you, as frightened as a newborn child. And you should be, Victor. Your situation is both incredibly fortunate and incredibly unfortunate, all at the same time. Truth be told, in your situation, there's no telling how things could end up. But in the end, I suppose it will be up to you, whether you'll be able to fight your way through or not, whether the strength you were born with will be an advantage or an Achilles heel, whether you live or die. In the end, I suppose it will be up to you to decide whether you're strong enough to fight your way through it, to live and claim the life that you desire. But one way or another, it will most definitely be a good show. One that I most definitely don't intend to miss. So, just like my husband, I'm going to be keeping a close eye on you and the events surrounding you. I want to know what becomes of Victor Baron.